see how much you took.
Could you just say what that is again? Sorry.
This is
Is dishwasher salt any different?
table salt.
Thank you for that. And how much of that are you going to use?
For the full mix, it will be equal to the amount of copper sulphate.
Okay.
So, as there's a kilo of copper sulphate in there, there'll be a kilo of salt.
Okay.
But what I'm going to try at the moment is to see what happens when we put 1 kilo in. So let's try half a kilo.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try half of.
Is dishwasher salt any different?
More bloody expensive.
Yeah.
Sorry, more expensive.
Edit that bit out.
Do you know what? You are the Jamie Oliver of surgeons.
Oh, it's not readable now.
There's a dark blue here, isn't there?
Where can you buy big tubs of salt like that, Don?
Sainsbury's.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Probably cash and carry, right?
Yeah, Costco or something like that.
Well, Sainsbury's was the only place on the way in. Otherwise, I would have. Now you can actually see.
Oh, yes, it's clean, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
Gosh, that's great.
Yeah.
This is nice fingerprints.
It's just the most amazing colour.
That as it dies, so you'll find that colour will gradually decrease to the point where it looks like it's plain liquid.
Is that hydrogen?
So it's obvious when it won't work anymore. It just doesn't work.
It's also obvious.
That's what I mean about the sediment you get when you wash away them, because you're basically getting rid of the copper, aren't you, from the solution. That's why the colour disappears. So that is what you're disposing of.
No, what you're disposing of is not the copper. What you're disposing of is the product that's coming out of that aluminium, which is copper. But there's also the aluminium sulphate is what kills the mix. So what actually happens is that the aluminium sulphate takes over and kills the copper.
Right, but the solid that goes to the bottom eventually, what's in that? Copper and
Would be
aluminium.
very, very small amount of copper,
Sure, but
mostly aluminium. Sodium bisulfate.
Sodium
But the easiest way of buying it is in this form, and this is £9 for a kilo, and you only need not much more than a tablespoon.
And it comes from?
It comes, if you go to the website for it, is ISCA Pool Care, ISCA, one word, poolcare.co.uk. But I got it from the garden centre in Mould, because we've got a lot of posh people in Mould with swimming pools. And my guess is, coming from your part of the world, you'll be able to pick this up a lot more easier than I can.
Well, I certainly didn't have it in Oswald Street Gardens.
Now, the problem with this stuff is it's
So how much are you going to add? How much are you going to add?
it's about 125 grams.
I love the way it says, never mix chemicals.
Especially with bare hands. But you can actually see now what's actually happening with that. Feel the heat on that. Look at the heat on that.
See it.
Going on.
Good, you can see it coming up.
Yeah. Gosh, zinc doesn't do all that.
Aluminium does get hotter than zinc, definitely.
I've
Was
never
that
noticed
plastic sheet on there, Don, when you put it in? Was
Yeah.
that plastic covering on there when you put that in? Oh, that's the
Let's
plastic
see.
side. And on the other side was what? Nothing?
No.
Oh, okay.
There was plastic, wasn't
So
On the other side.
on this. Don't film it. That's awful, Stefan. Is that a measurement?
This is sodium bisulfate.
Sodium bisulfate, did you say?
This is sodium bisulfate,
Okay.
or it's called pH minus. And basically what it's in there to do, it's in there to produce sulfuric acid. It's a very mild form of sulfuric acid. So what that will actually do is to attack the aluminium sulfate that's forming.
Slowing the exhausting.
Yeah, you're slowing the exhaustion down. So it means that when it's when you're allowing it to regenerate, it will actually help that process. So if we use this all today and then leave it overnight, when we leave it overnight, you'll actually see the colour come back to that bluish colour. And Nick Seminoff actually has a colour on one of the colour scales that when it comes back to that colour, you know you can use it again. So 250 grams of this and about 10 litres of water.
Just go through those again, sorry. Just say what's in there.
So there's 10 litres of water, 1 kilo of copper sulphate, 1 kilo of salt, and about 250 grams of the sodium bisulfate,
Okay.
which can be bought at
That's
actually helps to stop the ring of pearls. So I think that's, I'm fairly sure that that almost sounds like it should be a Glenn Miller tune, you know, string of pearls. So that's what that helps
Spray it
with.
with a fine mist from a bottle, but then blotting it at the opportune moment to see what happens when I think I've got what I want. Doesn't always work though.
What did you say it was? Solvent?
I use Lincoln Wash, which is Hawthorne's version of white spirit. Only it's not in a, it's original bottle.
And we had a problem with paper sticking. I don't know why that was. But also, there doesn't seem... I mean, Don thought that we got much more out of that than appears on here. So he re-brassoed it and took a lot of care with re-inking it. And it's come out better, but still, there's not enough lights in it, are there?
No, it looks like it almost needs burnishing, doesn't it?
Do you think that's what it needs?
Yeah. Although had you put any ground on it at all?
The first thing I did was put some margarine in it.
Oh right, okay. So the margarine's obviously let
It's the
some of it go
yes,
through.
yes, and in fact it did produce what you might see easier on the plate is these tiny bubbles, which are
Okay.
quite nice. But then they seem to have disappeared largely. I then put some hard ground on, I think it was, and painted with that and scratched into it. But it seems to have, it seems to have etched more than I expected it to. Do you know what I mean?